often by some, how do we attract more blacks to the Republican Party? How do we attract more Hispanics, Asians? Unfortunately, some of the leaders in the Republican Party, they think that the way to do that is to become Democrat-light. That is not the way to do it. People who come to this country, people who are born in this country, no matter whether they are black, white, green, red, purple, whatever the color, they all want the same thing: an opportunity to succeed and achieve prosperity on their terms. That's what everybody wants. So if you're talking about removing barriers to education, you've got their attention. And you don't have to panic. Second component, a job. Once again, we heard lip service about creating jobs in this country. The fact of the matter is, you cannot create jobs by continuing to spend at the levels that the government is spending. It's creating jobs, but it's creating government jobs. It's not giving you an opportunity to create jobs. Coincidentally, this morning on the radio show, my researcher had found a study that was just released by NFIB that said that in 2012, 80% of NFIB members did not add any jobs. Why? Because of the uncertainty in this economy and all of the other challenges. It wasn't just the uncertainty about who was going to be president. It had a lot to do with the general uncertainty about running a business. Running a business. 80%. And see, this is consistent with when I was doing a truth tour back in September and October prior to the election. I talked directly with 2,500 business people in some of the key states in this country in terms of the election. And they all echoed what you said. I would ask the question, how many of you all have jobs in your business you could expand, but you won't because of the uncertainty that we're facing right now? Nearly every hand would go up. And you're faced with the same thing. But unfortunately, the people in Washington, D.C. do not understand how to create jobs. The way to create jobs is for government to get out of the way and to do the biggest, boldest thing that we can do to allow the economic growth that's pent up in this nation to burst open, and that is to replace the tax code. I'm not going to stop talking about it just because I'm not running for president. We've got to replace the tax code. If you have a politician talk to you about they believe in major tax reform in order to try to get your support, run. That's code for status quo. You cannot reform a tax code that has nearly 80,000 pages. When I was on the Cube Commission, I used to ask the business people when we would travel around, I said, does anybody in here know anybody that's ever read all of the pages of the tax code? No. Nobody's ever read it, not even the IRS. They've got different departments responsible for the first 10 pages, the next 10 pages, the next 10 pages, the next 10 pages. And we spend billions of dollars every year trying to make sure we stay out of jail for a code that is incomprehensible. They can talk about a lot of other things in terms of creating jobs, but the biggest thing that can be done is to replace the tax code. That's how jobs will be created. That's what people want. You've got jobs in your businesses if we could get government out of the way. And no, I'm not going to stop pushing that idea. It's part of what I'm about. So first, removing the barriers to education. Secondly, removing the barriers to job creation. Current administration doesn't get it. Thirdly, removing the barriers to a career. You know, the key to people having a successful career is for a company to be around long enough to give people careers. It gets back to getting government out of your way, getting government out of businesses' way, so people can pursue a career. Oh, it's unusual nowadays for somebody to work for a company 35 years and get that gold watch and retire. That's very unusual, but why not give people that opportunity? Why not give them that chance? By making it possible for businesses to survive and thrive long term, rather than just try and survive year in and year out. That's not what business is supposed to be about.